Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation. First of all, I'd like to thank you to all of you who chose this video of mine for you to watch. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Anita Kurnia. I'm delighted to be here today. Today's topic is very interesting for those of you who find it difficult to carry out extensive reading activities. In my presentation, I will explain a reflection essay about extensive reading based on my experience. I will focus on three main points. I'll begin with what extensive reading is and its principles. Then I'll move on to the benefits and challenges of extensive reading. And finally, I will give advice to all of you about extensive reading. There will be a question and answer session after my presentation. That if you have questions, please leave them until the end of the presentation. So let me start. I think this is something that is not very familiar to you. Have you ever found it difficult to learn a new language or a foreign language? If you have experienced it, then I have also experienced the same thing. Until finally, I found a method of learning foreign languages in a fun way. I only found out about these methods when I was studying in the second semester through one of the courses. Therefore, I will discuss what extensive reading is and provide advice that will definitely help you to be able to take advantages of this method in learning a foreign language. The first one is, what is extensive reading? Extensive reading is an activity of reading long text with interesting content and easy to understand vocabulary that is used to foster interest in reading in a person. The principle of extensive reading is to use reading material that is easy to read. Students choose to read as much as possible. The purpose of reading is usually related to pleasure, information, and general understanding. Now, let's move on to the next point, which is about the benefits and challenges of extensive reading. The benefit of extensive reading is adding a lot of new vocabulary, making me a better reader, making me a lot of motivation in reading, getting complete information from books that I read, and I also enjoy reading the books I read because I have the full right to choose that books I want to read. And extensive reading also helped me to improve my writing competence. The challenges of extensive reading is time, because there are so many activities that I have to do, and then resources. Here, I find it difficult to find and choose materials to read because this is a very important part of the success of achieving the goals of extensive reading. And then the last challenges is motivation. It's very difficult for me to build a strong motivation to keep reading and make it my hobby. At this point, I'd like to turn to the last point. What we will discuss is about the advice that I will give to all of you about extensive reading is to choose a reading book that you like. Look for as many reading sources as possible. Enjoy every reading book you read. Stop reading books that you feel are not interesting, then look for other reading books and keep motivating yourself to keep reading. The key is to be consistent in doing extensive reading because the benefits are also very good for honing our English skills in other aspects such as speaking and writing skills. So you've heard what I said. What conclusions can you draw from this? Yes, that's correct. The conclusion is how important it is to read books and the benefits are huge. Then knowing these extensive reading methods makes the atmosphere more pleasant when reading books because the readings are read in accordance with what we want. There is no pressure or coercion from anyone about what book to read, which means we have full rights to whatever type of book we want to read as long as it is profitable for ourselves. And in the end, the important changes we can feel in us when doing extensive reading is our brain becomes shining because in extensive reading, we are taught to read as many books as possible. Of course, by instilling habits like this, the knowledge we have will increase. So I really recommend an extensive reading methods for all of you to do when you want can master a foreign language or when you want to grow a hobby of reading in yourself. Okay. Okay, that's the presentation material that I can convey. I close with a quote from Katie Camelo. She said, reading should not be presented to children as a chore, a duty. It should be offered as a gift. Are there any questions? So if you have any questions, please type them in the comments column below. I think it's enough. Thank you for your attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.